Hi there, my name's Andy. As you can tell from the title of the video, this is a little bit of a review of the G4 doorbell that is made by Aqara. It is the very first time that I have made any sort of video review, anything like that, so I apologise for the unprofessional quality. I have edited the video on iMovie on my Mac. The very first time I've tried any sort of editing, so I do apologise for the quality of what I've used to blur out a couple of sensitive bits of information. Basically, the only thing I could think of doing was taking a close-up photo of the arm of one of my sofas, and I used that as a bit of a masking image. I worked out that you could use picture-in-picture to mask things on the video. It's a very honest review, my honest review. It's not sponsored by Aqara. I paid for the doorbell myself. Also, you may notice some gaps in the video. I have taken out some areas of the video because you will notice that I have a few ticks, but I've tried to keep most of the ticks out of the video itself, so that you can concentrate more on the video rather than laughing at some of my actions. So with that being said, I will get into the video so that you can see it. I would be appreciative of any comments and feedback, and also if anyone is watching and wants to give me any tips on how I can improve for if I do a review of anything else in the future. Also, if there's any other editing software that you would recommend me using other than iMovie, and I'd like to know if I've done a decent job and if you have found the review helpful. So thank you very much, and here I'll get into the video. So here we have the new Aqara G4 video doorbell. Ordered it this morning and Amazon Prime sent it through. It is 7:45, so it's taken 11 hours to come through since I ordered it around about 8:45 this morning. That is that side of the box. Back of the box. That side of the box. Front of the box. The top. And the bottom. I shall get it out of the box and let you know what's inside. So interestingly enough, with the doorbell, it opens from the bottom of the box, as opposed to most Aqara products that I've had. Cameras, sensors and other such products usually open from the top. So we have one in a box with the camera in. We have instructions. I'll give you a better view in a moment. I assume this is the module. Nicely wrapped. Upside down. Do apologise. Well, there we have it. Slightly bigger than it appears on the advertisements. This is a peel-off sticky pad, and there you have your speaker. There hides your security screw. Obviously you have your button and your camera, along with the various sensors like night vision, IR, PIR sensor, etc. Very good. It comes with batteries, but it is very nicely packaged in there, as you can see. I apologise if this unboxing seems unprofessional. I have never done it before. I just wanted to do it. So that is the module, and obviously I'm going to cover the HomeKit code since everyone is paired individually. That's your button for settings and things, I assume. So that will be a chime, again, sticky pad on the back. You also have a nicely wrapped, nice, neat cable. I do like it when things are neat. I'm sure if anybody asks my partner, I am a little bit of a neat freak. And we have 2, 4, 6 batteries. Look like good quality as well. And you also get fixing kit, so a couple of screws, a couple of wall plugs. I like how everything is wrapped in these bags. They do feel like anti-static bags as well, the old anti-static bags that you used to get on computer components. And there is the door wedge, again, sticky back. I say door wedge, I mean the angled wedge, so that you can angle your video feed. Another couple of screws there, and you even get a little screwdriver. And there we just have everything set up a little bit neater. I do apologise as well, I have just noticed that the little light I'm using is in the way of the video. I apologise if anything was cut off by that beforehand. Just as a little bit of a side note, there is the inside where you can put the batteries, and this here, unusually for a doorbell, but I think it should be put on all of the doorbells, is an anti-theft button. So basically if somebody tries to steal it and this gets pulled away from the housing, then it will actually create a siren through this lovely speaker here, and also through things like HomePods if they are used as chimes with the doorbell. So I just thought I'd like to point that out, as it's a very nice feature. And you'll notice there's 2 screws here and here. This is so that you can have it wired or you can have it battery powered. And interestingly, Aqara says that you can keep the batteries in here and wire it at the same time, and then if there's an interruption in power, then the batteries take over and there's no loss of function with your doorbell. Hello there, the video and sound quality might have changed ever so slightly because I'm using the forward facing camera. It says that we have to put this on the Aqara app first, and then put the batteries in and do the rest of the doorbell after this is set up. I'm not sure the reasoning behind that, but I will be following it just to make sure that everything works correctly. My partner's kindly let me use her phone for this part. So I've put that on. We go to the Aqara app.
Ready to connect. Please open the Aqara Home app.
There we go. She's told me it's ready to connect, so I'll go to add accessory. And we shall go down to, I think it's on security cameras. Yes, it's on security cameras, as you can see there. So we'll click on the doorbell, voice message ready to connect. So next step. So device is being added to home. Next step. Scan the code on the bottom and add to Apple Home. It does seem very, very simple, I must admit, even compared to the cameras. It seems to be a lot quicker, and it's already connecting. Usually the Apple Home part gets done after everything else is set up, but this seems to be doing it straight away. I need to be connected to a 2.4 gigahertz Wi-Fi. I did read that. That's my fault. So bear with me a second and I shall come back. So I've changed Wi-Fi over to 2.4 now. Let's give it another go. And I need to rescan. Add to Apple Home.
Wi-Fi connecting. Please wait.
And that was much, much quicker because I'm actually connected to the right Wi-Fi now. And if you notice, it's actually flashing blue on there, which is quite good. Bear in mind, I'm not the most technically minded person.
The account is bound successfully.
The account
Welcome aboard.
is bound successfully. So what I shall do is create new room. I shall call it front door. Obviously, you can create your room. Continue. And I shall name it front door as the name of the camera instead of Aqara Doorbell G4. And then when the notifications come through, it won't say someone is at the Aqara G4. It'll say someone is at the front door. You can now set up video features, whether it streams and records. Obviously, this is personal preference. And you can choose who can stream and view recordings. You can choose face recognition, and oh, that's quite nice as well. So chime accessories, HomePod and Siri enabled accessories will play a sound when someone rings the doorbell, and chime doorbell, your physical doorbell will sound when someone rings the bell. You can choose to turn them on or off, which is a nice touch. And just like that, we have added that part of it. It is now binding the device to my account. And there we go, way less than the 60 seconds. That is done. There we go. So, point to note, this part where you add and set up the room and everything in the Aqara app is usually done first when you're setting up something like the G2H Pro or G3 camera hubs for Aqara. It appears that you do HomeKit first and do the doorbell second, this way around. So just something to note. And assign a location. And if you make sure that the location room names match and the name of the doorbell match, it just stops a few little glitches between HomeKit and the Aqara app. Obviously, you can rename everything afterwards if you're not happy with the naming of things or you need to change location, things like that. You can add the card into your home. Click done. And now you add the batteries once that's done to the doorbell itself, which I shall show you in a second, and you bind that to the door chime. And it's the chime that uses your Wi-Fi. The doorbell gets bound to the chime itself. As you can see, the reason I have my finger over here is so that you don't see the HomeKit code, but the batteries are in. That did flash 3 times and now it has stopped flashing. So I believe that is the doorbell connected to and bound to this little chime here. just as a quick note, this part here, you do need to remove this if you're going to wire it in. As I will be wiring it in, I'm going to remove this just to make it easier for me tomorrow when I put the wires there. It's a little bit too dark to wire it in at the moment. Right, so it looks like everything is pretty much up and running. So what I'm going to do is, so it keeps on recognising motion. I haven't done any of the settings at the moment, but just to give you a general idea, after that very quick setup, press the button, it already comes through on there, it comes through on the HomePods, and also my partner has discovered and is quite elated by, it comes up on our TV that somebody's at the door. So that is, I must say, rather impressive. So because I'm slightly impatient and I couldn't wait until tomorrow when I had some light, I've put the chime there. And what I will say is the stickiness of it is unlike anything I've ever seen. It's like old type super glue. If you're old enough to remember the old type super glue before they took all the dangerous stuff out, if you put your fingers together for more than 3 seconds, you were having a hospital trip, unlike the newer type of super glue that takes a year to bond and breaks quite easily. Anyway, I digress. Out here, which was extremely easy to put up, is the doorbell. So there's the doorbell there. And it does capture my neighbour's house. However, I've spoken to my neighbour and he's perfectly happy for that to happen, as he believes the more cameras, the better the security, just in case anything happens. So, it's me again. After I installed it with the batteries last night, typically I completely forgot to video the installation. However, it is extremely easy to do. What I've done just to improve the water resistance capability, I've put a little bit of clear sealer just round the edge. I did that before I put the actual body on. And all I did, I drilled a hole through the back of there, and if we come in here, as you can probably see here, I drilled a hole that way, and then I just used another cable, tied it and pulled it through. It runs up and across there. Now you've got a couple of options. You can put a 24 volt adapter. You need to get an electrician to do it, and the 24 volt would go in there in one of your spares. However, what I have done is I bought that adapter just so you can see, hopefully you can see the writing on there, and with that adapter it automatically turned on to external power mode once I've plugged it in. Very easy to do, even for a layman as I am, and the doorbell's working perfectly. If anything, the picture has actually got ever so slightly sharper, which is always nice, and everything's working hunky-dory. Oh, before I forget as well, just to let you know that if you turn the anti-tamper alarm on, then it's very loud, very loud, so much so that I nearly dropped the doorbell when I took it off to wire it in to the mains. So just be aware of that. It is extremely loud. I noticed on the video earlier on that my door was extremely messy, so I just wanted to show that I do actually clean up after myself. So then, just a couple of thoughts. It is extremely easy to put up, the Aqara G4 doorbell. It's extremely easy to bind and integrate into HomeKit. something that I really do like is if you set up face recognition within HomeKit, then the doorbell will inform you of who is at the door. For instance, it identifies myself and my partner, which I think is excellent. Um, you can probably find a million videos on how to do this on the internet, so I don't need to go into that here. Um, Also, what I will say is the sound quality is quite good, although where I have it is a little bit like a wind tunnel coming between mine and my neighbour's house. So sometimes the air blowing across the speaker does get quite loud. Interestingly, though, as long as you're not stood too far away, you can still pick up the voices quite clearly. Um, as I say, the alarm is excellent on there for the anti-tamper. Nobody's going to be able to steal that without you knowing about it. So I would advise turning that on. And I would also say that other doorbells could do with having this feature, as it is very good. I have mine set up with my iCloud account, so I get 10 days worth of storage. And I tried playing about with the motion alerts and the motion sensitivity. I find that low sensitivity is quite good for me because people use the path near my house as a bit of a thoroughfare, and it usually just picks people up if they're coming to the door, which is quite good for us. However, if you have like a bit of a garden that goes out a bit further, I would probably put the sensitivity a little bit higher. The night vision, I would say it's really, really good. I can pick everything out. However, there is a good light source out there, so I can't speak as to how the night vision would be with no light source whatsoever. Daytime viewing, I would say, is extremely clear. The notifications are brilliant, they always come through. It's very clear as to whether it's picked up motion or whether there's been a doorbell ring. We did test the camera away from home, so the phone was on 4G. I think there was 3 out of 4 bars worth of 4G, and when I wanted to connect to the camera feed, it took less than 4 seconds for the live camera feed to start, which I must say is very, very impressive. It's a lot better than a couple of other doorbells that we've had, and I'm very impressed with that. I also like the fact that you can use your existing HomePods as extra chimes. So it's quite handy for us as we've got an upstairs to the property. We have HomePods on the landing and in the bedroom. We also have a HomePod in the kitchen and the hallway and the living room. So basically, I've turned them all on. There's literally no way that we can miss a doorbell press. So I think that's very good. So overall, very, very impressed with Aqara. I think it has an excellent market, particularly in the UK, as I believe it's the first doorbell that works with HomeKit that you can have wired or on battery power, which is excellent. I don't think anybody else does that in the UK, and especially for the price of it, for the price, it can't be beaten. Um, so I'd just like to say a massive well done to Aqara. I think they will probably break into the market more for anybody looking for a smart doorbell for the first time, and for anybody that has a doorbell, a smart doorbell, but hasn't managed to get it into HomeKit, this is an ideal upgrade for anybody wishing to get their doorbell into HomeKit, especially since the feature like where it pops up on the television um, on your Apple TV. I think that's an excellent feature. So all in all, very well done, Aqara. I'm very impressed.